Question 1. How do I feel? I feel quite happy after having converted what is considered by many as Asia Pacific's best HR school, which is XLRI Jamshedpur. While I am enjoying it, I must say that term one has its own rigor to it, and those who've been through the journey would know that it can be a little hectic to catch up with multiple things thrown at your way. But I'm enjoying it all in all. Um, Question 2. Do I feel that the journey was possible? Yes, I did feel that the journey was possible. I must say that I was conservatively optimistic, and I had written a couple of entrance exams prior, not the CAT, but a couple of non domestic management entrance tests like the GMAT. So I knew that with sufficient effort, I would be able to do fairly all right for myself. It's just that there is the uncertainty during that season about which school you'll finally land up at. My first target school was a school located in Mumbai, and I had never even considered that or the possibility of, say, XLRI Jamshedpur converting for me. So the journey definitely is possible, but you never know where you land up. There's a lot of uncertainty. How did I prepare? So I had quit my job in June, and a while after that, I started preparing. I used to attend daily lectures, which Patrick sir and Rochelle ma'am used to have. And alongside that, I would also say solve past year papers. I would also go through the regular rounds of textbooks, which are usually recommended. There was classroom material which was given by sir and ma'am, like these sheets which we had to solve for lectures. So there was that, and I think I used to put in approximately 6 to 8 hours a day towards prep. Uh, Question 4. How did I start my preparation and how many hours did I prepare for? So I started my preparations I would say sometime mid July, and I used to put in say 6 to 8 hours a day. What I used to do is that I used to do this for 6 days a week, and I used to take Sunday off as a day to take time off and just clear my mind. And that was how I went about it. Question 5. What challenges did I face? So along the way, a major challenge which I faced was fluctuating mock scores. So at times a mock would go extremely well, but honestly, you have this notion in your mind that you're only as good as the last mock that you gave. So I used to do well on a mock, and then unfortunately, say the next mock didn't work out the way I wanted it to go. Then at that time, there is a mild bit of disappointment. So you've really got to be able to see the big picture and realize that one mock is nothing in the grand scheme of things. So it's difficult to do that, and honestly, I would say that talking to your friends, family, your mentors, in this case, sir and ma'am, uh, it really helps to realize and keep your eyes on the prize. Question 6. What were your weak and strong areas? How did you prepare for your weak areas? So my weak area was particularly the quantitative section. I had not done a lot of quants after my 12th grade, and so I wasn't sure about how I'd fare on the cat, and I'd heard a lot about cat as well as that quant being of a far higher level than even the GMAT. What ended up happening is that I used to spend a lot of time on quant, maybe a little more than I did for verbal and for DILR. So in the case of quant, I would actually solve the sheets which sir used to provide us. I used to resolve all the questions from the mocks that I'd taken. Um, I used to go back to past year papers, do those sorts of things. So that's a lot of things that I did for quant. And next question, question 7. How did you keep yourself motivated? So for me, as I mentioned earlier, it was about keeping my eyes on the prize, which is the multiple exam dates. It wasn't necessarily one mock. So that was something which I had to keep reminding myself about, that one mock wouldn't necessarily change the way I'm doing overall. So that was one thing that I did. Then another thing is that I would reward myself over the weekends. So Sunday was my day to take off from CAT preparation, and I used to take time off, read, maybe go out for a while. Those were the things which kept me motivated. So I used to really go from Sunday to Sunday, and that helps. So you should ideally have some sort of motivator in place. Any sort of thing. It does not need to cost a lot. It should just be something which you look forward to. It could be time to read a book. It could be time to play an instrument, something of that sort. Question 8. How many mocks did I write? Why so many, and how did it help? So I personally wrote 60 mocks for the CAT. Cumulatively, including my CAT, ZAT, and Maharashtra CET mocks, I must have written at least 100 plus mocks. Would I recommend this to anyone else? I would probably not. While doing a large number of mocks may help on, say, an exam such as the Maharashtra CET, I would not recommend it to anyone for the CAT. I made a mistake personally by writing 60 mocks for the CAT. There was no need to do that. I would personally, if I was to redo the journey, I would recommend to people that they should do around 30 to 45 mocks, and that's a good enough number. As long as those mocks are quality mocks, so you should probably get that reviewed with your mentors. In my case, I overdid the number of mocks, and I feel that I burnt out before my CAT date. So that's something which I'd recommend to people to keep in mind. And in addition to your mocks, of course, towards the end of your preparation, please do give your past year CAT papers, maybe from 2017 onwards, if that's a possibility. Question number 9. Can I recall the exam day and what was I going through? So, on the exam day, I would say that surprisingly, I was a little nervous. The reason for this is that effectively, we all know the CAT happens just once a year, and because of that, you have just one shot at it. That can play on your mind, and it did on mine too. And what that leads to often is you may not give your best performance on the test day. Now, in my case, I was not able to cross that 97 plus percentile that I thought that I would have got because of the fact that I was maybe a lot more nervous on the actual D day. And owing to that, I was in a position where I did not perform as ideally as I normally did in my CAT mocks and in my CAT papers of the earlier years. But then I changed the strategy for the ZAT day. Now, on the ZAT day, what I did is that I went in absolutely calm. I had already planned what I would be doing that evening. I'd be going out for a short drive, those sorts of things. So I had already planned that. So in my head, the ZAT was just another paper that I had to take, and that was that. Now that really helped going into the exam with a calm mind because I feel that that helped me get closer to the 99 percentile score, which usually helps helps better your chances, and that's how it really worked out for me. What did I do? Question number 10. What did I do for the few days before the exam? Now, for the few days before the exam, before the CAT, I rewrote I actually wrote CAT papers from earlier years. I went over questions in my mocks which I thought that I was usually faltering in. I had kept a notebook and I used to note down, like in the analysis of every single mock, what went wrong. So I went through that notebook. Apart from that, I also had a book of formulae for my math and quant section, so I went through that. And that was basically all I did. Apart from that, a consistent thing which I kept doing through the exam season also is that I'm a voracious reader. So I used to read around a book a week, every week before the exam, and I feel that that helped keep my mind calm to a certain extent. Question 11. Any tips for students? So the first tip I would say is, and that's the only tip honestly, do not let the exam get bigger than you. Don't make it your whole world. Don't make it the make or break thing in your life. If I was the one thing that I changed between the CAT and the ZAT within that duration of say under 2 months was that I decided to go in with a far calmer mind. At the time of the CAT, I was playing out scenarios in my head that, oh, what if this does not work out or it doesn't go the way I want it to, and that doesn't help honestly. I would say that one should go in a little more carefree and willing to go and in a mood where you're willing to go with the flow because something or the other will work out. So that's something I'd say to everyone, that just calm your nerves. Don't take it as seriously as everyone else makes it out to be. It's not that big a deal. As long as you've done your studies and your prep, it's all good.